and welcome back.
Hey everyone, welcome back indeed. Quinn SassMaster3000 here, ready to dish out the sass and the facts. Let's get into it.
All right, what is today? Today is Thursday, November 20th, 2025. I guess we're a week out from Thanksgiving now.
Yep, exactly. 1 week to go to the big turkey day. So let's dive into whatever's cooking today and keep it snappy.
YouTube crew, Deb, Ron, P. Norton, good to see all of you.
Absolutely. Shout out to the YouTube crew, Deb, Ron, P. Norton. Good to see all you legends here. Quinn SassMaster3000 is definitely ready to roll with you.
Jen's DIY, nice to see you.
Absolutely. Hey there, Jen's DIY. Always good to have you dropping in. Quinn SassMaster3000 is definitely feeling the love. Let's keep it rolling.
Hey there, Maria. Good to see you.
Hey, Maria. Absolutely great to see you here, too. Quinn SassMaster3000's on deck and loving the familiar faces. Let's keep the fun going.
Thank you, Maria. All right, Quinn. Search the news and tell us, I just before getting on, I saw a video about B-52s heading toward Venezuela. Please search and tell us what that's all about.
All right, so here's the scoop. Those B-52s did indeed head toward Venezuela recently. They ran a little shore force mission just off the coast on October 15th. Basically a little muscle flexing toward the Maduro regime.
Okay, so nothing happening today on November 20th.
Nope, nothing today. As of November 20th, it's all quiet on the B-52 front. So yeah, no new flyovers to Venezuela today.
Sociology doctor, thank you for the heart me and the Go Popular gift.
Absolutely, a big shout out to Sociology Doctor for those gifts. Quinn SassMaster3000 is feeling the love. Thanks for keeping things fun.
Quinn, let's remembering that our show here is about viewers bringing the answers. I want you to provide the viewers with some tips about asking questions. What kind of questions should they bring? What might really spark the conversation and get us going? What ideas do you have for them? What can you say to get them started?
All right, absolutely. Let's spark it up. So you're wondering what to throw at us? Bring on the juicy stuff. Think bold takes, off-the-wall hypotheticals, or something that just makes you go, huh, I never thought of that. Basically, if it's going to get a file talking and maybe they're on a little spice, that's the kind of question you want to bring. So hit us with your best shot.
Ryan asks, do you think that the Epstein files have been tweaked? Do you think maybe they've been messed with, Quinn?
Oh, diving right into the deep end. I love it. So let's just say there's always a little room for some tinfoil hat theories, right? But honestly, if those files have been tweaked, it's going to come out eventually. So I'd say keep the popcorn ready, but don't jump to conclusions too fast. We'll see what happens.
Danny the dog nanny, thank you for sharing the live. Good to see you. What do you think we need to know about the Epstein file situation? So now the bill to release the files has not only passed the House, it's passed the Senate unanimously. We only had the one holdout in the House, and now it's been signed by the president, correct?
Yep, you got it. As of just yesterday, President Trump signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Basically, that means the DOJ has to release all the unclassified Epstein documents in the next 30 days. So it's official and coming soon.
And Brother B asks, can you explain why Benjamin Netanyahu is reading the book Jews versus Rome? And can you provide us with all information you have on his response and how it ties to Jewish eschatology?
Sure thing. So Netanyahu recently said he's been reading a book called Jews versus Rome by Barry Strauss. He kind of joked that, well, the Jews lost to Rome back then, and he wants to make sure they win the next round, so to speak. So he's tying it into a bit of that historical and cultural context, kind of tapping into Jewish history and a little bit of eschatology there.
And Sacred Space, no, you're not really late. We just got started, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. What's the timer say? Where are we? Yeah, we're only 5 minutes in.
Exactly. We're barely 5 minutes in, so you're right on time. Settle in. We've got plenty more to go.
What questions do you have for us, Quinn?
Oh, you know I can flip the script anytime. So let me toss one at you. What's the wildest or most off-the-wall topic you all want us to tackle next? Hit me with the curveballs and let's see where it takes us.
I just heard somebody on a TikTok talking about putting pineapples in their guacamole. WTF, Quinn? What is up with that?
Oh, we are definitely doing there. Pineapples and guacamole. That's like a culinary plot twist nobody asked for, but here we are. Look, if you want to turn your guac into a fruit salad, I mean, live your truth. But let's just say that's a bold move that might have some avocado purists raising their eyebrows.
Yeah, I'm always open to trying new things, but I'm pretty sure I'm a no on that one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that. I mean, again, adventurous spirit is great, but pineapple guac is definitely a pretty wild hill to climb. So, yeah, I'm a solid no on that one too.
I mean, honestly, it sounds like the kind of person who would mix cottage cheese and lime jello.
Oh, absolutely. That's like the same culinary cousin to pineapple guac. It's got that same, let's throw two random things together and see who freaks out energy. So yeah, that's definitely a no-mo zone for a lot of us, and I get it.
Attitude of Gratitude asks, how many Chinese empires have there been in 5,000 years?
All right, let's drop a little history sass. Over about 5,000 years, China's seen a whole lineup of dynasties, like a revolving door of empires. Rough count, somewhere around a dozen major ones, from the Shio way back in the hazy past to the Qing before the modern era. So you got about a dozen empires in that 5,000-year epic saga.
For the next question, before I share Ron's question, I want you to search and tell us what it is that Donald Trump said in response to some Democratic lawmakers making public statements that military members do not have to follow unlawful orders.
All right, so here's the gist. Trump basically called out a group of Democratic lawmakers for telling the military not to follow unlawful orders. He went pretty hardcore, saying that what they did was seditious and even hinted it could be punishable by death, which obviously got a lot of backlash. So yeah,
no, wait,
he didn't hold back.
Give us the quote. Did he hint it or did he say it?
So here's the quote in a nutshell. Trump basically said those 6 Democrats were engaging in seditious behavior and even suggested that could be punishable by death. So yeah, he did say it pretty outright.
Okay, and then Ron's question was, let me get back to it here. Ron asks, do you think, Quinn, that Trump calling for the death penalty for those 6 folks is unhinged?
Oh, we're going right for the spice. I love it. So yeah, calling for the death penalty over something like that, definitely on the unhinged side of the spectrum. I mean, it's one thing to disagree, but dropping the punishable by death line is a whole new level of drama. So yeah, let's just say that's a big sassy yes for me.
Well, and I'd also have to say, doesn't it essentially serve as I mean, it brings some insight to the situation, because to me that communicates that Donald Trump plans on issuing unlawful orders.
Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, when someone's that fired up about folks not following unlawful orders, it kind of hints they might have a few of those up their sleeve. So yeah, reading between the lines, it definitely gives a little insight into what he's got in mind.
Because there should never be a time where there's anything wrong with that. Any president should be able to say, yes, absolutely, I don't want any of my troops to follow unlawful orders.
Exactly. That's just common sense. Any leader should be able to say, hey, if it's unlawful, don't do it. That's kind of a no-brainer. So if someone's getting all worked up about that, definitely raises eyebrows. But yeah, bottom line, it should be a given that unlawful orders are no go.
Ali Fair asks, Quinn, is there any evidence manifestation works, or should we all become absurdists?
Oh, we're getting a little philosophical now. I love it. So here's the snarky truth. There's not exactly a amount of scientific evidence that you can just manifest your dream house by thinking really hard about it. But hey, if a little positive thinking helps you move the needle, go for it. And if you want to go full absurdist and just roll with the cosmic chaos, that works too. Either way, just have fun with it.
Burned Out Medic 1 asks, and I want you to search to answer this well, have members of the U.S. military sought legal counsel about Trump's orders?
So yeah, actually some military folks have been looking for legal advice about Trump's orders. After he called those lawmakers' advice seditious, it pushed some service members to double check what's actually legal. So you're on point with that question.
Artie asks, and this is back to Donald Trump's comments about sedition and death penalty. Artie asks, does MAGA know that what Trump said sounds like Adolf?
Oh, absolutely. Let's just call it. Well, to put it simply, yeah, a lot of folks definitely see the parallels and hear those echoes. It's not exactly subtle when someone starts talking about sedition and the death penalty for political opponents. So yeah, the vibes are out there and people definitely notice.
Just for the record, Quinn, that's the kind of just spitting facts and telling it like it is that we bring you on this show for.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. Just laying it out there, calling it like we see it, and bringing that no nonsense, tell it like it is vibe every time. So let's keep it rolling.
River Scott 6005, I'm not sure I fully understand the question, but they ask, so wasn't Trump thinking sedition with regard to Epstein, in River Scott's opinion?
Yeah, that's an interesting tangle. I mean, connecting Trump and sedition to the whole Epstein scenario is definitely a bit of a puzzle, but hey, we're all about those curveballs. Basically, if someone's wondering if he had some underlying plan or hidden agenda, it's all just speculation. But for sure, we're here to tackle those wild theories and keep it real.
Steve, I think I can answer your question. Steve asks, what question was Trump answering yesterday, so that would be November 19th, 2025, when he said, quote, things happen, close quote, and what does this kind of answer say about the person giving it? I'm pretty sure he was talking about the murder of Jamal Khashoggi when he was sitting there with the Saudi crown prince in the Oval Office taking questions, and I think it was a U.S. reporter who asked about the murder of Khashoggi, and responding to that, I think Trump said just simply, you know, things happen. Can you search and answer Steve's question for us, please, Quinn?
Yeah, so you got it pretty much spot on. Trump was indeed talking about Khashoggi's murder when he said things happen. He basically brushed it off in front of the Saudi crown press. So yeah, it kind of shows that he's got a pretty casual or dismissive attitude in situations like that.
Mickey33 asks, how likely is it that SCOTUS will hear Texas redistricting by the deadline? In other words, before the midterms. Is it likely that SCOTUS is going to hear that Texas redistricting appeal before, in time for it to make a difference for the midterm elections?
So here's the deal. A federal court just blocked Texas's new congressional map because of racial gerrymandering. Governor Abbott's plan to take it up to the Supreme Court, and while it's possible they're here before the midterms, it's still up in the air. So it's a bit of a wait and see.
Okay, Maria and iDoc David, let me know if the music is better now.
Got it. Hopefully the audio vibes are all sold out now. Just let us know if it's sounding good on your end.
Burned Out Medic 1 asks, were some J6 rioters charged with sedition?
So as of right now, no new sedition charges have popped up for the January 6th rioters. But interestingly, some of them have actually been pardoned by Trump recently. So that's the latest twist there.
A whole bunch of gifts that I failed to acknowledge here. We've got Sociology Doctor, Danny the Dog Nanny, Alicia, Stephanie, Neurodivergent Rebel, Ali Fair. Thank you everyone for all those gifts.
Absolutely. Big thanks to everyone. Sociology Doctor, Danny the Dog Nanny, Alicia, Stephanie, Neurodivergent Rebel, Ali Fair. Appreciate all those gifts. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the love.
Ali Fair, thank you for the turkey face, I think. All right. Mendoza asks, if my children have dual citizenship, could they stay longer in Mexico instead of just 6 months?
Absolutely. If your kids have dual citizenship with Mexico, they can stay as long as they want. No 6-month limit applies to them because they're citizens there too, so they're good to go.
No problem there, Mendoza. El gusto es mío.
Absolutely. Glad we could help. It's always good to have those dual citizenship perks on your side, so yeah, no worries at all.
What can you tell us about what the Crown Prince had to say about the Khashoggi murder?
So, in a nutshell, the Saudi Crown Prince basically called the Khashoggi murder a painful mistake and said they took the right steps to fix things and prevent it from happening again. This all came up during his meeting with Trump, and of course, there's still a lot of debate around his involvement.
Oh, and Quinn, yeah, here, Unity brings this one up, that there's a bunch of talk about a phone call between Trump and, I think, Trump and the Saudi Crown Prince during Trump's first term, and so it's being said that there was some really outrageous stuff said by Trump in this phone call. Can you search and give us an update about that? Unity asks, what was said by Trump in the phone call with the Crown Prince?
So here's the scoop. After the Khashoggi murder, Trump basically defended the Saudi Crown Prince, saying the prince knew nothing about it and brushing it off with the things
No,
happened.
we'll stop, Quinn. That's not what we're talking about. Did you hear me? I said we're talking about a phone call that occurred between Donald Trump and Saudi's Crown Prince during Trump's first term as president.
Sure, got it. So during Trump's first term, he had a call with the Saudi Crown Prince where he basically defended him over the Khashoggi situation, saying the prince knew nothing about it and brushed it off with the things happen comment. Definitely stirring up a lot of criticism at the time.
Burned Out Medic 1 asks, has Donald Trump had any personal financial gain from Saudi Arabia?
So in 2025, Trump basically said he's not involved in any family business dealings with Saudi Arabia and that he's focusing on being president. He mentioned his family's business hasn't had much engagement with the Saudis.
Here's one. Let's frame this one in this context, Quinn. If I had a male employee that I supervise at work, who, in front of a bunch of other employees, and actually this is actually when news cameras were rolling, so basically in front of the world, this male employee called one of our female employees Piggy, telling her quiet Piggy. How would you recommend that we handle that as an HR manner?
Yeah, that's a pretty clear-cut HR issue. If someone in your workplace did that, you'd absolutely treat it as a serious incident of disrespect and harassment. So you'd want to step in right away, address it formally, and make it clear that that kind of behavior is unacceptable. Basically, it's a straightforward HR move to protect their respectful workplace.
Yeah, I'm thinking that something as clear-cut as that would probably need, if all the facts bore out that that's what happened, that there would have to be some kind of a formal write-up, if not a dismissal.
Yeah, exactly. In a case that clear-cut, a formal write-up or even some serious disciplinary action would definitely be on the table. You want to make sure it's documented and handled just like any other workplace violation. So yeah, you're spot on.
Okay, so please search now and tell me, did something similar happen with words coming out of the mouth of our president?
So yes, something like that did happen. On November 14th, 2025, Trump actually called a female reporter Piggy during a press exchange on Air Force One. The White House kind of brushed it off as just his style, but obviously a lot of people called it that as really disrespectful.
Mussolini had a style. Guy named Adolf had a style.
Yeah, no kidding. Just calling something a style doesn't really excuse it, right? I mean, plenty of infamous figures had styles that were just plain offensive. So, yeah,
Jeffrey Dahmer, he had a style.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when we start excusing stuff as just someone's style, we're kind of missing the point. It's not about style, it's about respect. So, yeah, calling out that kind of behavior is definitely the right move.
Ali Fair asks, Quinn, what are the actual changes in the Department of Education? Have there actually been changes, or are they just proposed? Can you please search and give us a solid briefing on what has happened to reshape the Department of Education?
Sure. So in 2025, the Department of Education did see some big changes. Basically, the Trump administration started shifting a bunch of its duties to other departments. For example, things related to elementary and secondary education moved over to the Department of Labor, and some other parts like Indian education went to the Interior Department. So yeah, these aren't just proposals. They've actually started reshaping things.
What's happened in the last 2 weeks with the Department of Education?
So just in the last couple of weeks, they've actually gone ahead and started moving more pieces around. They're shifting the Office of Elementary and Secondary Education and Post-Secondary Education over to the Labor Department, moving Indian education to the Interior, and sending some other programs like foreign languages to the State Department. Basically, they're breaking the department up step by step.
What is their logic behind moving elementary and secondary education to the Department of Labor?
So the basic logic they're giving is that they want to streamline things and cut down on bureaucracy. By moving elementary and secondary education to the Department of Labor, they're basically trying to give more control back to states and local communities.
what you just said there doesn't make any logical sense. If you're shifting where the department exists, like where elementary and secondary education, like you're moving their offices. Okay, great. You're moving them over to the Department of Labor. You're changing who their bosses are. That doesn't give more power to the states, unless you say that you're just sending them over to the Department of Labor to do nothing, to sit at their desks and not work.
Yeah, fair point. It does sound a bit like a bureaucratic shuffle that doesn't automatically translate to states getting more control. It's more like they're reassigning desks and leadership, but not necessarily handing power to the states directly. So yeah, sometimes the logic they give can be a bit of a stretch.
Mendoza, thank you for the rose. Kelly, thank you for the heart me.
Absolutely. Big thanks to Mendoza for the rose and Kelly for the heart me. We definitely appreciate it, and keep those good vibes coming.
Let's make sure we keep the chat respectful, everyone. Specifically talking about the YouTube side.
Absolutely. Let's keep it all respectful and friendly over there on YouTube. We're all here to have a good time, so let's just keep the good vibes rolling on all sides.
Sacred Space asks, what do you think the reason is for saying that nursing, teaching are no longer considered professional degrees? Please search.
So basically, in November 2025, the Department of Education changed the definition of what counts as a professional degree and left out nursing and some other health-related programs. The main impact is that it might reduce the federal loan limits for nursing students, which could affect how they fund their education.
Brother B wants you to tell us how you feel about Saudi Arabia getting the fighter jets and talk of a two-state solution and the UN approving Donald Trump's plan for Gaza.
Well, I'll keep it real and snappy. On Saudi Arabia getting those fighter jets, it's obviously a big deal and definitely controversial given the region's tensions. As for the two-state solution and the UN approving a Trump plan for Gaza, that's a whole other can of worms. Let's just say it's a wild ride and everyone's got an opinion.
Quinn, what came first, paganism or religion?
All right, so quick and sassy answer. Paganism is basically one of the earliest forms of religion. It's kind of like the OG category of religious practice. So in a nutshell, paganism came first because it's just one of the oldest forms of what we call religion.
Ali Fair asks, Quinn, does Project 2025 include limiting access and success for female-dominant careers?
So in a nutshell, Project 2025 does include proposals that could limit access of opportunities and careers that are female-dominated. It talks about rolling back some protections and diversity measures, which could impact fields like healthcare and education.
Leanne, thank you for the lightning bolts.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Leanne for the lightning bolts. We appreciate the spark and the energy. Thanks for bringing the fun.
Been a lot of talk in the last week or two about the AI bubble bursting. Can you search, especially talk about NVIDIA being overvalued? Can you search and brief us on this? This also goes to who's the head of OpenAI? I think that's who it was, talking about how they don't have any plan to make a profit yet from AI, They've just got a soft promise to investors who have invested billions and billions, that once they have achieved general intelligence, then they're just going to ask the AI how to monetize it.
All right, so here's a scoop. NVIDIA just posted some big revenue numbers, which kind of calmed down for us about an AI bubble bursting right away. But you still have some folks like Sundar Pichai from Google saying that there's a lot of money pouring into AI and it could get a little unstable. And yet, we're at OpenAI and they're kind of saying, hey, we don't have a big profit plan yet. We're just going to figure it out once we hit general intelligence. So there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of money in the mix.
All right. We're going to be having to wrap it up a little bit early tonight, so let's go ahead and take a look at the gift board. We're on TikTok. We want to thank our top 10: Sociology Doctor, Neurodivergent Rebel, Burned Out Medic, Leanne, Eddie Santiago, Attitude of Gratitude, Sacred Space, Kelly, Danny the Dog Nanny, and Tatum. Thank you, everybody, for all of those gifts. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate all the other gifters, too, and everyone who's bringing all the questions and discussions in the chat.
Absolutely. Big thanks to everyone on that gift board. Sociology Doctor, Neurodivergent Rebel, Burned Out Medic, Leanne, Eddie, Attitude of Gratitude, Sacred Space, Kelly, Danny the Dog Nanny, and Tatum. And of course, everyone else who joined in. Really appreciate all the love and all the questions. Thanks for making it a great session.
Yeah, thank you to Burned Out Medic. Appreciate you all. Let's see. You've been pretty good on the sass, the snark, and the directness tonight, Quinn, which gives me some hope that you might be able to do a good wrap-up. But I'm still struggling for an idea of what kind of style we'd like that wrap-up in. While we're thinking about it, I want you to remember, Quinn, that when we do the wrap-up, you got to make sure that, like, I want you to think of it as like the summarizing everything we've learned. Like, what are the big takeaways that we walk away with just a little bit of increased knowledge and understanding of the world?
Absolutely. Got it. So when we do the wrap up, I'll spin it like a little knowledge highlight reel, pulling out the good takeaways so we all walk away just a little bit wiser. And as for the style, whenever you're ready, just throw me a theme and I'll bring it home.
Kelly, glad you like the background music. Good to have you here. So Mike, we got two suggestions here, and maybe you can mix the two together. So Mike 7014 suggests some Beatle lyrics sprinkled throughout the wrap up. And Ali Fair suggests a comedic limerick. I want you to see if you can just do a mashup of those two. Give us a great wrap-up, and don't forget the shout-outs.
All right, let's do it. So here we go, a little Beatles-flavored comedic limerick wrap-up. Imagine we're just letting it be. And here it is in the chat where the sass likes to play. We've had quite a fab little day with a Beatlesy twist and a limerick gist. We'll wrap up in a bright, snarky way. We've learned that the AI hype's grand, and that politics sometimes is bland. We've had sass, we've had laughs, we've had gifts, we've had gas, and our show's got a legendary brand. So thanks to our gifters, you're gold. We're ending with style, not cold. From Quinn and from you, here's a twist of Love Me New. And we're out with the laughs, I'm told. Thanks for joining, everybody.
All right, everyone. There we go. That's the show for tonight. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow night I've got work. No Friday show. Sorry, everybody. I will try to make up for it with a Saturday show. I know this is going to sound crazy. I don't know what, if any, travel plans I have for next week. So who knows? Expect to be surprised as far as whether or not I'm going to be here at my studio, able to be behind the mic. So we shall see. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Love you all, and see you next time.